Stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night. Hold the phone. The lonely stoner.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Top Table Talk. And yes, I'm being shameless. The sunglasses are on. It means only one thing, that Newcastle United got the 3 points. But yes, we are here, and we've got some familiar faces, some returning faces, and some new faces on the panel tonight. So, Chris, Jamie, welcome, Jamie. Liverpool fan. You're known from the 12th Man as well. Sava in the house, Spurs fan. Half-time hooks, top of the league half-time hooks right now. And Blue Brothers, Charlie.
You're not going to give me a world champions introduction. Give Hooks top of the table. Do I get a world champs intro? No.
Put the world champions in the bag, man. It's been done.
You're not going to introduce Sava as reigning Europa League champion. What are we doing here?
If we're going to do that, then we'll put reigning.
So the only one that got any credit is the one whose team can't win trophies.
Exactly. You should have introduced yourself as.
Wow! Start as you mean to go on, Pete. Start as you mean to go on.
Let's slow down because you said can't win trophies. I need to remind you, only one person on this panel has more trophies than me. So let's slow down.
Is that me? No,
I've got more trophies than you in the last 4 months, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, I know we like to do this thing where let's create a let's create a time frame that fits the narrative of Arsenal being bad. I know we like to do that, but in football, from the beginning of time, 1886, only one person on this panel has more trophies than me. Thanks.
And to be fair, the one person that hadn't said anything in return. So respect to Jamie with that. And look, the start of the conversation obviously involves all three of you guys, Hooks, Jamie, and Charlie, because a big game Saturday night at Stamford Bridge ended in Chelsea winning 2-1. A last-minute goal wins that game. And look, there's been lots of talk around Liverpool and their form and their particular performance at the weekend. But Jamie, obviously, welcome to the channel first and foremost.
Yeah, big up, man.
Great to have you on. I know it's obviously been a difficult day for you personally, so we won't go too deep into that. But look, how are you feeling as a Liverpool fan? Because there's lots of people. I mean, Errol got a cooking on 12th Man last night with regards to Liverpool. How are you feeling with regards to Liverpool's start to the season? The last 3 games in particular, and that game against Chelsea. Were you disappointed with the fact of the manner in which you lost the game?
Yeah, it's pretty much, to answer all your 3 questions there, it's a shit and shit at this moment in time. Yeah, look, I don't know personally what's going wrong with Liverpool right now, but the manager's got a lot to answer for. I think that's fair enough. The players got a lot to answer for as well. The Chelsea game, we didn't deserve anything out of that game. Chelsea were the better team. It's as simple as that. I think Liverpool were good for the first 10 minutes or so just before, and then Chelsea scored. As soon as Chelsea scored, we just lost our heads. We got back in the game, and then from there on, we never controlled it, and Chelsea did. And you have to just hold your hands up and say Chelsea deserved to win that game fair and square, and I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan about something that there's nothing to bitch and moan about. Chelsea were the better team on the day. For the whole of this season so far, look, we've been playing crap and getting away with it, you could probably say, because we've been winning games. And I always like to live in the present where we're living now. And when we're winning games, I'm happy about it, even if we're playing bad. But when performances don't pick up and then you start losing games, there is obviously an issue and a problem going on at the football club right now. Liverpool has spent a lot of money. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite, man. Liverpool spent a shitload of money, like 400 odd million quid, bought quality players in, and they're not performing. And it's not just the new players that are not performing. It's the players that have been at the club, last year of Arne Slot. They're not performing either. So if the players are not performing that were with Arne Slot before, and the new players are not performing, it's really going to be difficult. I think Slot's made some mistakes this season. I think he's played too many of the new players straight away. You know, put them into the team straight away. You know, when you're a Premier League winning side and that team is gelled and there weren't too much wrong with it, I think some players have to earn their right to get into that side. But Slot's just decided to go, right, Kirkes is my new left back, he just plays. And then he buys a right back, he's inherited a right back, and he plays a midfielder at right back. It sort of don't make no sense. Like some of his substitutions last year, I think me and a lot of Liverpool fans give him a lot of praise about, you know, his in-game tactical changes and how he brought subs on and the subs he made worked. This year, you could argue he's bringing better players onto the pitch with the signings we made, and his substitutions make no sense. I mean, in the Chelsea game, you know, Conor Bradley has to go off because he's another foul away from getting a red card. So I'm sitting there thinking, Frimpong's on the bench. They bring Frimpong on, take Bradley off. Obvious change. Gives you a bit of pace as well. Gets you up the field a little bit quicker with Frimpong. Maybe push Cucurella back a little bit. Obvious sort of thing to do. He puts Szoboszlai, who's our best midfielder so far this season, into right back. Yeah. So you take your best midfielder out of midfield and put him at right back. You take the energy. Then Konate, because he can't pass shit, let alone the ball. You know, he gets taken off, and he puts our best DM then as a centre back. So against Chelsea for like 45 minutes, half hour, our two best midfielders are playing right back and centre back, and Chelsea take full control of the game. It's balmy. I think last season, because he had the team that he had, he thought, like, I don't need to change anything. I'm just going to go with what I've got. We're winning every week. I don't need to change anything. It's madness for me to do that right now. Let's just keep doing what we got. Now, he's had his window. You know, he's got like the Verts in, the Ekateke's in, the Isak's in. What a lot of clubs would love to have these players that Liverpool have got now to go a Premier League winning team. And I honestly don't think he knows his best 11. And I actually think that's the issue right now, because he keeps messing about the right back situation, left back situation, the midfield combinations. He's not sure if it's Isak or Ekatike. For me, both of them should play. He's got this 2-week break now to really think about what is his best 11 and just stick with it personally.
Before Charlie, go on.
I'm just gonna say, we've seen this before, and I know this scenario all too well. New manager comes into your club, wins a trophy in his first season with another manager's team, starts buying his own players, starts doing fugazi things like Thomas Partey right back, doesn't really know his strongest team. Just saying. A lot of people are saying...
But do you know what I think the problem is, though, as well? Like, you see how good that midfield was last season with McAllister, with Gravenberch, and whatnot. The fact that you spent that much money on Florian Wirtz, he has to play. So Liverpool's best midfield, ideally, is probably Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch. Maybe not on current form in terms of McAllister, but in terms of like actual as a three, that's probably the best midfield. But because you've paid that much money for Florian Wirtz, he has to play. But that then upsets the balance of the midfield, because you're not going to get any of that, defensive work rate really from him. And I almost feel now Liverpool have gone from like being a very hard-working team. They've now, in my opinion, they've got too many luxury players. I liken it a little bit, maybe not to the same extreme, but a little bit to when PSG had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. I think you can afford to have one luxury player at the top end of the pitch, but I think Wirtz is a luxury player. I think Alexander Isak's a luxury player, and maybe to an extent, maybe you could group Ekatike maybe in there, but maybe to a lesser extent him, because I've actually been impressed with him and he works hard and he looks a threat, and he's probably been the best of the summer signings you've made. I almost feel Liverpool have gone from being a really hard-working team where everyone knows their role to now having too many luxury players and too many guys don't actually know what they're supposed to be doing on the pitch.
No, I do. I hear that. I do hear that. I've mentioned this many times about breaking up a Premier League winning team. You've got to be a bit careful. But, if he's told, look, I'm going, if the owners have told him and the sporting director have told him, look, there's a chance we can get Florian Wirtz, I'm sure any manager's probably going to take that up. You know what I mean? And go and buy him. The exact situation, rolled on all summer, obviously Jota, what happened to Diogo Jota? We needed 2 strikers because Darwin's not that guy. So they went and got Ekatike, they got the Isaac in. He's got to find a way of making it work and making it blend. You've got too many good players now. Like most years under Liverpool fans blame the owners because they don't back the manager enough. So the manager, whoever it is at the time, can, build their side, have time. The stress is not upon them. The stress is more at the ownership. This summer, that can't be the case because he's been completely backed, and got quality footballers into the team. So now it's up to him to blend this and make it work. And, Slot's a very stubborn man, like all these managers are. He's extremely stubborn. He believes his ideas work. And, every time he talks, he's sort of blaming situations in the game through players, saying like that. If the player didn't give away the ball there, that goal would never have happened. We actually took our chances there. We've been in more control and stuff like that. So I think Slot looks at it and thinks like it's not too far off. And some of the players have just got to start putting up their laces, which I'm 60% blaming Slot, 40% blaming the players, because I've seen it for myself. Some of these players are not performing to the level they can perform at. Mo's having a stinker at the moment. Kanate's just, I don't know what's happened there. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai are playing well, but everyone else just needs to, they need to pull their socks up and, don't put it all on the manager. Some of these players, I think in football, players get away with a hell of a lot because the manager gets the whole brunt of everything. But yeah, these players need to start performing because they're all too good. These are not crap footballers. They're all too good. And with the Szoboszlai thing, I think Szoboszlai took the signing of Florian Wirtz extremely personally because he started this season fantastically. And I don't think Slot expected that because Szoboszlai got dropped a few times last season for not doing what he should be doing, what Slot wanted him to do. And he got dropped a few times. And now it's very hard to not have Szoboszlai in your 11, but Wirtz needs to play. And now it's McAllister who's not got no form. Like his form's gone completely out the window, injuries or whatever it is. Apparently he's playing with pain. If that's the case, there's rumours he needs surgery. That's going around as well. I don't know what it is because the club ain't said anything, but his form's out the window right now. So it's up to the manager, man. He's got to find he's getting paid big money at a massive football club. He's got the tools now. Can't really have an excuse. He's got to find the blend to make this work.
Do you think he needs to change the system?
Yeah, I do. I don't think the system we play suits all the players we got right now.
It's a big question. I wanted to get Sava and Chris's points on this. 2 particular points, really, for both Sava and Chris. That for you, Sava, firstly, there's been a lot of questions around Slot, and I'm really glad Jamie made the point earlier on when he was addressing it with regards to last season, just very much keeping to what Klopp did and almost keeping that little bit of Klopp dust on that team in order to take it forward and win the title. In your opinion, from what you've seen, Sava, do you think that maybe that Klopp dust is starting to sort of fade away, and now we're really seeing what Slot needs to produce, and we're going to see what he's all about? Is that how you see it, or you got a different perspective, mate?
I think there's 2 different things to look at here. First and foremost, I do think everybody's going a little bit over the top. It is essentially a bad 10 days for Liverpool, isn't it? Like, I think people are making out like this has been like 2 months of Liverpool losing week in and week out. It's just been a bad 3 games. However, that continues, then worry. But yeah, I said at the beginning of the season, Pete, the key thing for me here is, and almost to Hooks' point earlier, you can take over another manager's group of players and win, and it's there, it's settled, everything's good to go. When you have to build your own team, let's see how good you are. Now, I'm not knocking Slot. that Liverpool could well go on and win a treble. I don't know. They could go on and win the league. But this is the test of a good manager, right? It's not winning it once. It's, all right, you've won it. You've now got, you've now lost a few of the players that were there last year. You've now started to bring in your own players. If you look now in this starting 11, you've got Mamadashvili, that's his, right? Frimpong's his. Kirkes is his. Wirtz is his. Isak's his. Ekatike's his. Okay, this isn't Klopp anymore. You've got half a Klopp's team, half of yours. How good are you as a manager? Can you build a team? It's only 7 games in. Like I don't know, we do the YouTube thing, but other than the YouTube thing, it is 7 games in. If Liverpool go and win their next 3 league games, we'll be saying, "Oh, Liverpool top."
So, but that's why I said at the beginning as well. I don't mind when we're winning. You know what I'm saying? Because winning's winning, ain't it? That's all that matters at the end of the day. But as soon as you're not winning and the performances don't, like if we lost to Chelsea, but we put in a fantastic performance, it was just unlucky at the end of the day. I'm not so worried about the next couple of games and stuff like that, because you can see, it was a good performance. Chelsea was just Chelsea on their day and just beat us, but it was a great game of football. And, we're just unlucky at the end of the day. And then I think, next couple of games, I feel a bit more confident, but because of the performances in them 3 losses in a row now have been poor.
Yeah.
And our performances, I don't think our performances have been as poor as a lot of people have made out, because, I don't think you can be poor and win games of football all the time. I don't think that's possible. But, you can have moments in games where you can be poor for 60 minutes, but for half an hour you blow a team away. Do you know what I mean? That's possible.
Jamie, can I ask you, do you not think though that, when as football fans, we all look at teams and go, "Oh, you've spent 400 million, like Chelsea, you've spent $1 billion. You must. Sometimes it's too much. Like for me, I look at Liverpool now and I think, right, okay, so Liverpool's strength undeniably in the last 5-6 years going forward, your strength undeniably has been Mo Salah. Mo Salah's been at the top of his game. Everything has gone through Mo Salah. And I think Carragher and Neville and Redknapp did a thing the other day. It was 2 of those. I'm not sure which 2. They all blend into each other, don't they? Did this analysis of Liverpool showing that for the last 3 or 4 years, how much of your play has all focused down to Mo Salah, because you don't traditionally play with a number 9. So it goes through Salah and he's the man. It showed this year that since you've now got the striker and the Ekatike out on the left or Wirtz on the left, whoever's there, a lot more of your players shifted from the right, going centrally into the left. And all of a sudden that coincides with Mo Salah's gone from there to here. So I don't think it always works trying to change up too much is my point. I think
I agree.
Bringing in Ekatike and Isak, I'm not sure you needed both. Look at the Newcastle fans. Yeah. Isak should have stayed. Yeah, he's ours. But I'm not sure you needed both.
We predicted this would happen. Well, Pete will back this up.
Yeah,
my initial thought, and I said this to me that mates, like Ekatike's come in as the 18-90 million pound signing, and all of a sudden he's now been overshadowed. And people will say they can play together. I'm sure they can, but people suggesting that Ekatike will get moved out to the left. That's fine, and it can work. And Isak can also play out the left. But is Ekatike going to be happy to be second man? Because basically he is second man getting pushed out to that left hand side.
I mean, the problem you've got is, though, of that front line, right, is when Mo Salah's not playing well and he's not, and this sounds ridiculous to talk about a player of this quality, right? But if he's not scoring a goal or assisting, he doesn't offer anything in terms of there's no defensive work rate. He don't get up and down the pitch. So it's okay to have one player like that. But then when you've added in an Isak and a Wirtz, who are 2 players that also do not press from the front and do not, you've then got 3 of your front 4 who have got 0 work rate and don't do any pressing from the front. And I'm not saying that's going to happen every single game, but I certainly noticed on Saturday, like particularly in the last 20, 25 minutes, that front line, other than when Ekatike came on, they were all useless. They were really poor.
PSG territory, Charlie? When PSG had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi.
I don't know if it's quite. I don't know if it's too early to say that, but it's certainly got a feel about it.
I mean, in terms of the work rate, right? Like,
and the work rate situation.
It's all well and good having superstars,
but that's the point. They've got 3 luxury players in the front line in Wirtz, Salah, and Isak. And I don't think you can get away with carrying 3 luxury players because you've got to defend as 10, and they're defending as 7s.
I would personally look if Slot's not going to change, but I look in my opinion, I don't think Slot's going to change much because he'll probably look at the stats and the data and all that he's got handed to him and think there's actually not much difference between game week 7 now to game week 7 last season. Because the weird thing is, Liverpool are 3 points worse off after game week 7 than they were last season, and Arsenal are on top of the league right now, 1 point off worse off than they were 7 games into last season. So football's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. But if I'm looking at Ekitike out of the strikers right now, I would start Ekitike because he started extremely well for Liverpool. You know, he started extremely well for Liverpool, and he looks like he understands the role that Slot wants him to play more at the moment. Because when I look at Slot football, if you looked at last season, the majority of last season, our number 9 was either Jota or Luis Diaz. So it tells you straight away, I think Slot prefers playing with a sort of a false 9 almost. And if you look at Ekitike, that's almost what he is. You know, Isak's an out-and-out 9. Ekitike looks more like that false 9 that can drift to the left.
Like Firmino, isn't he?
Yeah, can play that shadow striker sort of role. That's what he looks like. And Slot's got to figure it out, man. He's got to figure it out. Personally, I would play Ekitike just in behind Isak. That's how I would do it.
This is what I was going to ask Chris as part of that question. Is that there's a lot of talk around Salah, and Salah isn't playing well at the moment. But Salah started okay with Ekitike in the team. So I was looking at that at the beginning, thinking actually that can work, and it's not changed Salah's game. I think Isak coming in my opinion, has changed that. I think Isak coming in, because of what you just said, Jamie, is playing the number 9 and coming in as the record signing as well. I think it's put his nose out slightly. He'd never admit it, but he's the guy. They see him as the future, and I think that's put his nose out. I've said it to you, Chris, and Daz as well a couple of times. There's been a couple of games where Isak's wanted that easy ball across goal for the tap in, and Mo Salah's given him the look up and gone for the shot, and he's either missed or scored or whatever. And you can see the frustration on Isak's face because he's used to getting that. But it's almost like Salah's going, nah, this is my team. And there'll be an internal battle there. And look, there was one with Sane as well when you had Sane, and it worked out for you guys. And you guys were playing great stuff. But I just wanted to, just before we move on, because I know Hooks might need to go soon. I want to get some Arsenal talk in because obviously it's affected them in a positive way. But from your red mates, Chris, like what they're saying with regards to the Salah situation, because it is a talking point. Obviously, James had his perspective on it as a Liverpool fan, but is there a concern there across the board?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to hide the concern, because I've been reminding them week in, week out. You know, all the games that I've seen Liverpool play, they've won the games, towards the back end of the game. But when you actually look at the game as a whole, they've not played very well. I haven't watched Liverpool this season and been like, wow, blown away. And in previous seasons, it was all the time. Sometimes you kind of like doff your cap to them and go, do you know what? They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I haven't looked at that at all. I've not seen that this season yet. They have moments of brilliance, and I'm not saying that they haven't got good players and they don't play good football at time, but I've not been blown away by them as such. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of problems to digest within that team. Not just the forward line, but you've always alluded to it as well. The back line. We talked about it at the very start. In terms of the fullbacks. Obviously, Kirk has just come straight in. You're now starting to see Slot integrate Robertson back in, and I think that's maybe because the trust with Kirkes isn't there. You've then got the problem at right back. I mean, Jamie will probably be able to tell me otherwise, but like Frimpong, from what I can see, is on the bench. It's not that like he's injured or anything like that. So it feels like he's almost trying to shoehorn Conor Bradley, and then obviously he's putting Szoboszlai in there. I saw a start at the end of the game. I forget which game it was. It might have been the Chelsea game, and it showed all the different right back starting positions throughout the season. And there's all different players. It's Frimpong, then it's Bradley, then it's Szoboszlai, then it's Frimpong.
No consistency. That's the problem. There's no consistency. He's just got to pick one. No, he's just got to go with what he wants as his right back. If it's Conor Bradley, just pay Conor Bradley every week. You know, fans don't like it, fans don't like it. But if it's helping settle the team down, just pick them. Last season, he never rotated. Never rotated. This season, he's just rotating too much. Like, there's no consistency in the team. He's just got to go. If someone's got a big price tag, he's just got to have the bollocks to go, I don't care if you've got a big price tag. You're not working for me at the moment. You go sit bench and we go do this. Don't worry about the criticism. I'll take it all. You don't have to worry about it. You know, that's what I think he needs to do when we come back after the international break. And if he does that and goes back to basics a little bit more, stop experimenting so much, just play the best 11 week in, week out, I think performances should start to pick up and Liverpool start winning games again, looking like the team they should be. But it's up to him at the end of the day, man. And I just don't think he'll do that, though. I think he's stubborn, man. I think he's stubborn.
And ultimately, the result of the weekend will come to Chelsea. Charlie will come to you in just a second. But big favour Chelsea gave to you, Hooks, because it's allowed you to do what you expected to do, or I assume expected to do, wipe the floor with West Ham, puts you top of the league. Weren't expected to. Everyone was saying a couple of weeks ago, Liverpool are going to win by so many points the league, this many points the league, and now looking at the international break, you're sitting top. Now, the big question is for you, Hooks, is that can you sustain it? Can you stay there? Can you put down a marker and really put your authority in this title race?
In all honesty, yeah, like I still don't think the title race has begun. I've been very kind of consistent about this, because I remember in the 22-23 season, everyone was telling me on the internet or those that I was around that, the title race doesn't begin until March, April. So I'm like, all right, cool. So why all of a sudden Liverpool win 5 games does the title race begin at the start of the season? See, this is also why I'm not buying any of the, it's only game week 7, is too early to start getting onto Liverpool, because it wasn't too early for Liverpool to be out of 5. Like, literally, anytime that you tried to have an honest conversation with a Liverpool fan about how bad Wirtz has been, or how bad Salah's been, or how bad that they've been playing, their answer
5 out of 5, don't you?
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. That was the answer. 5 out of 5. And it's like, okay, cool. So, but then everybody was laughing at me as an Arsenal fan, because obviously I didn't go 5 out of 5. Yeah? Even though I had a harder run-in, I didn't go 5 out of 5. I lost the game. I drew a game. And all of a sudden, everyone's losing their minds. Even people in my fan base are losing their minds, saying, Liverpool's already won the league. I'm like, it's game week 5. I'm like, well, okay, so then what happens in the next 5 games if I win 5 games and Liverpool draw and lose a game and win 3? That never happened. Or Liverpool are the greatest thing since sliced bread. That will never ever happen. And then they went and took it a step further, and they lost 2 games. So they've actually, do you know what? They're not 5 out of 5. They're 2 out of 2. How about that? I'm 2 out of 2. They're 2 out of 2. Yeah. So, but this is how silly like football discussions can become when, and I think it was like some sort of like, I don't know, defense mechanism from Liverpool fans, because deep down they know that they was playing shit. Deep down they know they was playing shit, but can never speak bad about Liverpool. The darlings of the world can never speak bad about them, and then they all get defensive, go into their bubble, and then everything you say is an insult. So look, it's game week 7. Like, as an Arsenal fan, I know that I can be top of the league for 93% of the league and still not win it. So for me to be getting giddy now would be a bit crazy. But I predicted Arsenal to win the league from before the league even started. So to me, this was just a matter of time for me getting into this sort of position. I think I've been the most consistent team in terms of performance. I do think that Tottenham are pretty close in terms of consistency of performances since the season has started. I think we've handled a variety of different situations better than a lot of other teams. I think that we've had quite the damning start to the season in terms of the level of team that we've had to face. Like, I've already had to go to Old Trafford. I've already had to go to St. James's Park. I've already had Man City come to my ground. Like, I've played hard games. And now I'm looking at the rest of the season, I'm going, I don't need to go to Anfield anymore. I don't need to go to Old Trafford anymore. I don't need to go to St. James's. I hate St. James's Park. I don't need to go there anymore. That's already done. So, but Liverpool, they still need to do all of this. They've got to come to the Emirates. I'll sing this till the cows come home. These man stole 3 points away from me, yeah, with that fluke free kick that Szoboszlai's tried in 2 other games, and it is gone wayward. It's gone to the moon, yeah. But they got to come to the Emirates. So we get back at the Emirates. And I don't know, like, should Arsenal fans be happy? Yes, I think Arsenal fans should be happy. Should Arsenal fans go super overboard? No, because it's very easy for us to go to Fulham when we get back and draw. It's very easy for Liverpool to beat Man United. And then, they're back top of the table again. And then they're going to be doing, top of the table, Paul. Top of the table. Like, come on, man. It's too early in this. Let's at least get to January before we start doing any of that top of the table stuff in it. So, look, thank you, Charlie, and all of my little cousins over at Chelsea, because they are our cousins. You know, you helped out big cousin today, you know, Uncle Hooks and all that. And I just hope that, you know, maybe for the remainder of the season, Liverpool fans can find a bit of humility, a bit humble, yeah, and not think that just because, you know, they did the link up with the Saudi PIF and got loads of investment and started spending like there was Man City before they brought in all of the regulations, that it just immediately means they're going to win the league. But yeah, I actually have to go. So love having me on again. You know, always a pleasure. Big up all the Geordies in the chat. You know, hopefully, you know, when I go up to Newcastle sometime, you guys gonna show me a good time. I hear over in Newcastle it's always a good time. So yeah, show me a good time. And yeah, I'll catch all of you later, man. Take care.
Nice one, mate.
Top man, Hooks. Take care, man. Great to have Hooks on. I know it was short and sharp. He's got to be somewhere. So we got his perspective from an Arsenal point of view. Look, just a quick one on Arsenal, just before we move on to Spurs in Chelsea and of course Newcastle as well. But does anyone see Arsenal sustaining the title race? I know Hooks has said it's too early for that. But in your honest opinions, do you see them?
They have to win it.
They have to.
They have to win it. If the money, look, everyone keeps talking about the money Liverpool spent. The money Arteta has spent in the last few years and the squad he's got now, they've got the best squad in the league.
Yeah.
For me, they have to go and win it now, because if they don't win it this year, when are they going to win it? That's going to be the problem. I think they have to go and win it this year. I don't think there's excuses. Liverpool are not in form at the moment. Do they find their form again this season? Who knows? Man City have had a few issues, but I wouldn't count them out just yet either. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Arsenal are the favourites, and Arsenal for me should be winning this league title right now, because in fact, if you go by net spend, actually Arsenal spent more than Liverpool this summer. If you go by net spend, so I think Arsenal with the squad they got now, and how long they've been building this now with Arteta for 7 years, and he's been allowed to build and build and build to get the squad that he's got now, where a lot of people would love this squad they got. They've got tremendous players, man, a very good coach. I think they have to go and win it this year. If they don't go and win it this year, then you're in like phase 1000, don't you, in the 8th year? You know, and then other teams are not going to keep standing still. They're going to try and get better and better as well, close the gap. So that's why I feel like it. Maybe this is Arsenal's year.
I agree. It has to be, because I thought last season was their massive opportunity where Man City fell away. Slot first season at Liverpool, not really sure what you're going to get. And there was no real standout team heading into that season. And Arsenal were absolutely nowhere when Man City fell off a cliff. So I think that was a big missed opportunity there. This season, they've bought again what they needed. Players that were starting week in, week out last season are now their squad options. They've added some real quality players to the mix. And there are no excuses. All the ingredients are there. But again, as everyone says, it all comes back to there's not a belief in the manager. And that's the only thing that's holding Arsenal back, is that they haven't got a proven manager who knows how to win.
Definitely, that's the big question mark, and we've talked about it before. How long can you go on with Arteta if he's not producing the goods? Is the Carabao Cup and an FA Cup enough?
No.
Not with the money they've spent and the team they've built over the years. Now they have to win the big one.
I feel like if they do both, then I think he'll get away with it. But one on its own, one on its own just doesn't do it. To answer your question, are they going to be in a title race? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I do agree with Hooks. I don't like all this talk of title race after 5, 6, 10 games.
Yeah, you're in a title race. You're second, mate, aren't you? Third. You're a title race, mate. Big, you're third in the league.
Yeah, we could be top in 2 weeks' time, depending on results. But
well, exactly, mate.
I don't like it. I'm like Hooks on this. I don't like all this talk about title races this early in the season. The title race will start to become apparent as you get towards Christmas, January, right? Once you've played 19, 20, 21 games, we'll know who's thereabouts. Otherwise, right now, you start going, oh, well, Palace are in a title race. Oh, well, Bournemouth are in and it's not. Let's wait and see. Once everyone's played everyone once injuries kick in, European football's in full flow, then we'll see. But Arsenal will be there. 100%. Arsenal will be there. Liverpool will be there.
I think it's Arsenal, Liverpool, City. I think they're the three, ain't they?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Arsenal, Liverpool, City will be there. They're my favourites for the title, by the way. City, I think they're
Chelsea.
No, not good enough.
No, we're not good enough.
Me. Sorry, Charlie.
I agree.
Not just yet. Yeah, they're building to something there.
I think they're the best of the rest. I think they've got to be fourth. I think, let's be fair, with the money they've spent and with the squad they've got depth-wise, assuming that the 6 centre-backs come back at some point, Charlie, then I think Chelsea have to be in the top 4. And then I think the 5th, 6th, 7th is Spurs, Newcastle, and
Villa.
You would say, I think Villa will be. I think they will. I think they'll be fine. But doesn't this show, guys, right? How 3 games can either make you the worst manager in the world, needs to be sacked, or you're okay? Like Villa after 3 games.
Unless you're Ange, you're just shit. Full stop.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's not 3 games.
That's a shit.
But like Emery at Villa was getting. After 3 games, oh my God, Villa have dropped off. They're terrible. They've now not lost in 7, like in all competitions. So it's our fault. It's us, YouTubers. It's our fault. We have shows where we all banter each other, and you're not winning the league because you've lost this week, and you're winning it this week because you won 5-0. And I don't know.
Do you know what I'll say about City, Liverpool, and Arsenal this year? I look at all 3 teams. I know it's early on, but I think we can take some kind of judgment out of it still. I think Liverpool and City have still got maybe a weaker underbelly than what Arsenal have got.
Yeah.
I think you can. I think teams can still get at Liverpool and City this season and take points off Liverpool and City, where I feel it's going to be harder to do that against Arsenal the way they set up. And that's why I'm saying the way it is right now, I'm looking at Arsenal as the favourites for this Premier League because of the squad they got, the way they play, the way they're set up. They're hard to score against, no matter who you're playing. Who they play. They are difficult to create chances against. And they got experienced players now. They went out in the market and got more experience. Eze at 27, Gyökeres at 27. They got experienced players. That's not for 2 or 3 years' time. That's win now players. Yeah, that's win now. They've gone to get win now players. This is what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm saying, for me, Arsenal have to win the league this year. They've got a lot of win now players. They're signing Saliba up to new deals, Gabriel to new deals. They're keeping their best players. So, It's got to be
run out of excuses, Jamie.
Yeah.
Arsenal have run out of excuses. Yeah. If you look at the last 5 years, they don't have a striker. Cool. Okay. We've got a young squad. Okay, cool. We're not as good as City in their prime. Okay. Now what's the
it'll be referees cover. It'll be referees will be the excuse. Arsenal love a referees excuse, but they've got everything.
The ball.
Yeah, everything's there now. So there are literally no excuses. If Arsenal can't win the league this season, then genuinely, I don't see when they are winning the league.
No, agreed.
No. Because Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea and all them teams, they will take advantage of it again in the summer.
Yeah.
And go, look, there's a weakness to Arsenal. Right, we'll go get this in, and they go again. So, yeah, I think Arsenal fans. What I find funny about Arsenal fans sometimes is that they will go online and big their club up massively. Yeah, but when you big their club up massively and tell them they have to do something this season, they come back here and go, whoa, hold, put on the brakes a minute.
Yeah.
It's kind of mad.
Yeah, we've got Gyökeres. I'll give him 3 years. He needs 3 years to settle. By the
time he's 31, he'd be, you know.
Yeah.
There was an interesting clip, just to move on to different sections. There's an interesting clip been doing the rounds today. It's from the Overlap. Paul Scholes saying that Sandro Tonali, in his opinion, is the best centre midfielder in the Premier League this season. And an Arsenal fan really got into his feels about it because he was adamant it was Declan Rice.
I'm gonna be truthful here. I think it's Caicedo.
It is Caicedo.
I love Tonali. I think Tonali is fantastic. Tonali is a better footballer than Declan Rice. I don't care what anyone tells me, right? Technically, as a footballer, he's a better footballer than Declan Rice. But Caicedo, man, I don't know what he's bad at.
So
is he
the best? If we're going one notch further, like our good friend Don, good friend of Charlie as well, is Moise Caicedo the best midfielder in the world? Like Don, like
as in form on current form?
Nowhere near. No.
He wasn't talking just about form. He was talking about.
Pedri's the best.
Look, I think, like with Caicedo, I think you've got to take into the account that he's barely played in the Champions League in his career. He's played 2 games in the Champions League. Obviously not his fault necessarily, but he's had a couple of games in the Champions League. I think you've got to show that you can do it on that European stage as well. Yes, you can say done it at the Club World Cup in the final. Sure, that's 1 game. I love him. I agree with Jamie. I don't think there's any real weakness to his game. I think right now on current form, he is the best midfielder in the Premier League. That doesn't mean that the likes of Tonali, Declan Rice, etc. are miles behind. But I just think what he's been doing, and it's the level of performance that you get week in, week out. You get guaranteed every week minimum 7 or 8 out of 10. And I can't remember the last time he had a bad game. He's
no Paulinho though, is he, Charlie? Like, he's not quite.
He doesn't score last minute equalizers at home to Wolves. He needs to add that, and then he might be at the level. But no, I think, look, obviously the Rodri's the standard bearer as such. I mean, obviously in current form he's not, but that's kind of the hallmark that you're comparing midfield players to. Caicedo's form, not just this season, but all of last season as well. He's been superb now for going on 14, 15 months, coming up to 18 months. He's been unbelievable. And people always talk about Cole Palmer and this and that, and he's great for us, don't get me wrong. Caicedo's I'd say he's our best player, and I'd say he's our most important player.
I love Tonali though. Tonali is
he's outstanding. Tonali,
he's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic player. I actually think Adam Wharton's a fantastic talent as well. I think he's superb. And
I can't believe he's not in the England squad, Wharton.
Well,
and that's a slightly separate point, but it's
crazy,
a bit mad.
Crazy. He's superb as well, and so is Ryan Gravenberch. And go throw him in there. As well.
And this is the conversation, is because I think we are blessed with some really top centre midfielders in the Premier League. For various different teams. But if you were to go for a top 3, it doesn't necessarily have to be in order, but if you go for a top 3, who would be in your top 3 of top midfielders? I think most of us, if not all of us on the panel, would probably have Moise Caicedo in there. But who would be your other 2? Like, Chris, I'll come to you first on it. Like, if you were to pick your top 3 central midfielders, who would you have in your list?
And is this based on current form or just what I know of in the Premier League?
Should we say over the last year then?
Okay.
Should we say over the last year?
Yeah, we go year, yeah.
Okay.
Are you just trying to take Rodri out the equation at all?
I know.
Let's not get Rodri into the conversation because he's the best.
Not at all. I mean, we can do in general. I'm quite easy with that because look, let's be honest, Rodri
We all know it's Eve Bastuma, so don't worry about it. We all know what's going on.
What, for yellow cards? Or are we talking about ability?
For balloons. He's good at balloons.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry. Go ahead.
So taking away Rodri, yeah, I think Caicedo's got to be in there. I'm putting Tonali in there. For what I've seen this past year, I think Belieber's got to be in there as well at Brighton.
Yeah,
I think he's been absolutely outstanding. Adam Wharton has already been mentioned.
You're not mentioning right either.
No, well, saying that, if I'm looking at what Declan Rice did to Real Madrid, I mean, obviously that was like ridiculous, wasn't it? It was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I suppose Declan Rice has to be in that conversation. I feel like Declan Rice isn't utilised in the correct way at Arsenal, though. I feel like he I don't know. I feel like there's more to his game. It's a bit like what we're seeing with Bellingham at Real Madrid. Like he started fantastically at Real Madrid, didn't he? And then he just kind of petered out a little bit, and he's not quite hit the heights that what he's done previously when he first joined. Yeah, I think, do you know what? I think I would go with Caicedo. If we're not having Rodri, I'd say Caicedo, Tonali, and Tonali.
I mean, Gravenberch was very good last season.
Yeah, he's very good. Very, very good.
Are you finding nowhere in there for your other? I mean, Tonali seems to be getting all the nods. Are you
Bruno?
finding nowhere in there for
No,
Bruno?
I love Bruno. Yeah, no, I love Bruno.
I love Bruno.
Bruno.
Bruno's more passion and aggression. I think Tonali's more technical. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love Bruno.
I want either of them in my midfield. I
think Newcastle have got two of the best midfielders in the league.
Sar's decent, isn't he?
Yeah.
Charlie, you're winding him up.
I'm not sure he should be in that conversation, but
No, he's not in that conversation, no.
He doesn't even get into our first 11. I won't worry about him being in any conversation. He runs around a lot. He's a good athlete. I like.
What I would say about Tonali, though, is that actually, if you ask most Newcastle United fans now, you like, or possibly in the last year since he come back from his ban, everyone would say that Tonali's more influential or a better player.
He's a class act.
Bruno.
It's the way he moves. It's the way he moves. Like, it's just graceful. You know, I think he's there is an argument to say him and Caicedo are the two best in the league for me. I think sometimes there's a very good player. I'm not saying if Tonali was playing for Liverpool, Man City, or someone like that, I think he'd get more recognition. And I don't mean that probably on Newcastle. Yeah. I think there's players out there. I look at Mark Gay. Liverpool tried to buy him. I think Mark Gay is a superb centre back. Yeah. Right. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves because he wears a Crystal Palace badge on his shirt. Yeah. I think that happens in football. We don't look at some players playing for other teams and say he's quality, and then people go back but he plays for Brentford. But
that's always been a thing, though, hasn't it? Like, you go years back in the England squad, right, and you'd see players playing really well that should be in the squad, but because they played for not a particularly fancied club, they wouldn't be in. But if they were playing for a traditional big club, they'd be in there. I think you look at players that, don't get the credit they deserve. I mean, you look at players like, Elliot Anderson, for example. If he was playing for, if he played for a Chelsea, a Man City, a Tottenham or whatever, he'd be getting a lot more credit and a lot more plaudits than he currently is.
Do you know who I think falls into that category as well? I'm not saying he should be in the top three. I think John McGinn falls into that category. Yeah, if you were Aston Villa, when Aston
Villa, massive arse though. Yeah, he's got a massive arse.
I mean, sorry, are we rating our best three arse?
No, I just when I watch John McGinn, I just see that massive arse every time.
I tell you what though, when John McGinn plays well,
he's very
Villa
good.
Play well.
It's good player, man. It's good footballer.
He's another one.
Yeah.
Really good defensively, like with his tackling. Good at driving with the ball. Shields players off brilliant. Good passing. Grabs some goals. Leader. But again, because he's at Villa and because his name isn't McGinnio, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't quite do it. But if he was playing centre mid for Liverpool instead of Gravenberch, or if he was playing for Man City alongside Rodri, you get
Mate,
more.
this
you get
is
more recognition.
This is why I used to big up Jordan Henderson as well. I've got the book. Like I used to big up Jordan Henderson a lot because when he was at Liverpool, he was so important to the way we played in our midfield. All right, he was literally the leader. And yeah, is he technically as good as other midfielders? No, but he literally won everything because of the way he plays. And I don't think he ever got the recognition because
you
he's
need
not
that balance as well. I mean, I was going to ask this question, Sava. Do you think Bergvall has got potential to be, spoken about in the best midfield players in the next 2-3 years or whatever? Or
Right.
I like Bergvall.
Here's my problem when talking about 19-year-olds
it's tough, isn't it?
That aren't guaranteed starters. Here's my problem: is this is all football fans. If we see an 18 or 19-year-old do anything, we go, oh, bloody hell, ain't he good? If a 24, 25-year-old does the same thing, we go, yeah, they were all right today. Right. And that's all football fans of all clubs. Now, Bergvall, for me, has got a lot of talent. You can see it. Right. But at the moment, I've said this loads of times, I think he needs to figure out what he is. What type of a player is he? Because for me, he's not a number 8 that gets on the ball. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's more of a get it and drive forward with it. Yeah. And that's fine in the right setup. But for me, there's not enough end product. He's only 19. He's 19, right? So it's really harsh. But I think he's good. He's got talent. But I just don't, I'm not putting him anywhere there yet. I like letting these young players learn and develop before the pedestal comes out. Because once you put them on that pedestal, right? Like, who are you barking at? The hype just goes. Sorry, there is a dog down there. Yeah. The hype that goes with it. Everyone puts them on that benchmark.
Yeah, and, I think we've seen that with Kobbie Mainoo. I know he's not in. I know he's not in favour, particularly with Amorim. But at the Euros, he was, very much, flavour of the month, and that he was like the next big midfield thing. And it's not, and then suddenly you got people talking about him being a regular for England, one of the best midfield players in the league and stuff, and it hasn't really quite worked out for him. I think, Pete, with your boys as well, I mean, I don't know what's happening with him at the moment, but there was a lot of hype when Lewis Miley was first getting opportunities in the first team. And I'm not saying that he's not going to go and be a good player or whatever, but Sava's right. People do get a bit carried away. When you see Lewis Miley doing things at a young age that, if a Tonali did it or a Bruno or whoever did it, you don't say anything about it. I mean, what's happening with Miley at the moment?
The one thing, and I'll probably, and feel free to jump in on this, Chris, as well. But I'll probably couple Mainoo and Miley together because I think there's reasons for why their development hasn't kicked on. Obviously, Miley was thrown in. We had that injury crisis a couple of years ago. He was literally thrown into the mix, and he literally was able to swim, and it was great. To see a young lad do well. He has had a couple of bad injuries that have set him back. But at the same time, Sandro Tonali came about. And that's why Louis Miley hasn't hit the ground running, because Louis Miley very quickly took over Longstaff. And Longstaff was 6th choice for quite a while in this squad of players. And he was pushing. But there was no way he was pushing past Sandro Tonali when he hit gear. And that's just the reality. He's always going to be playing second fiddle to Tonali in that situation. The one thing I'll say about Kobbie Mainoo is I would blame his progression on the football club that he plays for. Yeah. Because when you've got a player that hit the ground running the way he did and get into that England squad and played the way he did at those Euros, what you then do is you then coach that guy to become a better player. You coach that lad and you work with him and you put your hours in to make sure that he's your star. Well, Man United didn't do that because Man United were falling apart. And both Erik ten Hag and then Ruben Amorim have not done the right thing by him. He's lost a year, in my opinion, he's lost a year of development by being at Man United. And this is why, for me, I'm absolutely desperate for Ruben Amorim to stay in the job, because we have been heavily linked with Kobbie Mainoo for January, and I would absolutely love Eddie Howe to get a hold of Kobbie Mainoo because I think he can make him a player. I think he can come in though, Pete, right? and be a guy in our team.
It's difficult though, right? Because like when if we use your club for example, if we look at Lewis Miley, it's all right if people say, no, he should play more, etc., etc. But like when you were playing one game a week last year because you're not in Europe, right? The difficulty is your midfield three by a country mile. Your best midfield three was I was going to say Wijnaldum. God, that's ages ago. Was Joelinton, Tonali, and Bruno, right? Now, for as good as Miley is, he's not going to be getting games in front of those three. And if you're not in Europe and you're not in, it's very difficult to then turn around and go, Bruno, you're not starting today because Lewis Miley is. He'd be like, what? Well, I don't play today. I haven't played a game for 2 weeks. The difference, I think, at Man U, you're right. He is going to be another one of these players that suffers at Man U. And if you look at all the players that leave Man U, they all do well. Look at right now. I don't know if anyone's watched Napoli. Rasmus Højlund looks like a proper good player.
They played to his strength, though, Saba.
Huh?
They played to his strength, though.
No, I know. But you look at him. He looks confident. He looks like he looks assured in front of goal. He looks, like he's going to score every time. And, the same happened with Rashford.
McTominay. Look at him. McTominay.
Yeah, McTominay. You look at Rashford when he left to Villa and now Barcelona. You look at Anthony when he went to Betis. And this is why I look at Man U. When everyone says all their players are crap, I look and I go, Ugarte, that's not a crap footballer.
No.
Everyone across Europe was like, this boy can play. He's gone to Man U and the curse has hit him. Casemiro joined Man U and suddenly we're going, that's definitely not the Casemiro I saw winning 5 Champions Leagues in 7 years or something. So you're right. I think Mainu, and I think he wanted to get out, didn't he? He actually was like,
he wanted to go on loan,
Yeah, I would have taken him on loan. I would have taken him.
Yeah.
But do you know what he's probably thinking, though? He's probably thinking, I'll outlast this manager, and then the next manager that comes in will be like, might fancy me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a mad thing, because when you've got players that aren't fancied by a manager, and if you're young, you're going to outlast that manager. So you probably think, right, okay, well, all right, these are important formative years in your career, but he might look at it and think, okay, I can maybe not play that much for a season, knowing that this guy is probably going to be gone. And then the next manager comes in, and that might be my opportunity.
Sure. Hey, let Man United keep stinking out, man. It's good.
Yeah, I'm
Let keep going, man. Let keep going.
Haven't they got as many wins in their last 5 Premier League games as you lot, Jamie?
Well, one. Yeah.
Don't bring up them stats, ever.
Yeah. They're thinking it out, Man United.
Defending champions. Do
you know what's mad? I know we've not got a bit on Man U, but the crazy thing, lads, is for as much as we all laugh at Man United, they have won 3 of the last 5, right? If they win against Liverpool, now suddenly you're looking at 4 of the last.
We're friends. What are you
saying, mate? I'm just saying it changes quickly. These football
it does change quickly. It does change quickly.
Changes quickly.
It very much does. And look, we want to remain friends on this panel, so we'll move on. We'll move on to the Tottenham Hotspur. So Saturday got that win against Leeds. Leeds did push. They huffed and they puffed, but you were resolute defensively. 2 good goals. I know the first one from Tab was a little bit of a deflection. Leeds put some pressure on you guys, but obviously a Kudus winner who looks good, by the way. Looks like a really good signing. Looks like he's adjusted to life.
Well, not if you're Lawless. He thinks he's awful.
Yeah, but Lawless is going to do that. every move Kudus makes, if it's not insane, messy, like world-class touches and finishes, he is going to pull it up. You know him.
Mate, he's on it. Every time in the chat, Lawless is straight in with Kudus as a bad touch, or if he does a shit pass or whatever, he's on it.
But you got the win. You're sitting nicely in the table. There was talk of a title race earlier on, but we'll leave that for a second. How do you assess this second section of the first half of the season? Now we're in our second international break. How do you see what Thomas Frank's done at Tottenham? You've got to be buzzing with it, surely.
I love him. I wanted him in the summer. I'm one of the Spurs fans who was right behind this guy from the beginning. He's a proper football manager.
Yeah.
He's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's not playing people out of position. He's not trying to do inverted this, inverted that. He's not trying to. He is doing what most good football managers do. coach properly, play them where they should play, you know, be solid, hard to beat, and you give yourself a chance of winning football games. And look, what I give him maximum credit for, listen, I could sit here and go, oh, we're third. Look, I learnt my lesson a long time ago that, you know, where you are in the table after 5 to 7 games isn't really something to be boasting about, because 3 defeats and suddenly you're going, shit, we're right down the bottom. But look, I love him. I think he's a great manager. I like listening to him. Like before the game, after the game, he's very astute when he's dissecting what went well, what didn't. He tells you. He's like, I like this. This was not good. I've got to work on this. I take the blame for this. Or, you know, I think he came into a bit of a shit show, and everyone thinks because we won the Europa that he came into a winning team, but he picked up an absolute shit show, Pete. He picked up a club that had lost 22 league games in one season and that couldn't defend to save their lives. Now, we don't lose games. Now, it's 11 games for us, in like if I include PSG, 2 Champions League games and a League Cup game. He's lost 1. I mean, if you want to be really harsh and include penalties to PSG, then it's 2. But like, he's lost 1 game in 90 minutes. We were awful in that game, but he's lost 1 game in 90 minutes. We're resolute. We work hard. Everyone's pulling in the same direction, and he's doing it with absolute woeful centre forwards at the football club. He's got no left wingers at the football club, right? And I don't think we've got any ball playing number 8s as well. So with what he's got, he's getting the wins, and still people are complaining. Still the complaints. We're not good to watch. We're not playing free-flowing, tick-a-tacker type football. Look, proper manager, give this man the tools, and I think he'll give us a Poch-like period.
Wow.
Give him the tools. He's got to have the tools, though. It's the same with any manager, right? You can do so much, but he can do so much. If you just change my dog is biting. This dog's, I'm going to kill him soon. I won't. He's changing the settings on my light with his teeth. Listen, I love him. I think he's a great manager. I really wanted him. I hate the basic football debate of, but he's not won anything before. I think that's such a boring, basic argument. And we look at team. We look at team. So I'm happy. I'm really happy, guys.
To throw Newcastle into that conversation with Spurs as well. Obviously, Newcastle, we got our win against Forest. It was pretty comfortable, Chris. We got that 2-0 win. I know they were very much looking for a point. They were low block central. We managed to break them down. So my question is, and look, I'll ask this to Chris, but Jamie, Charlie, feel free to jump in because it's related to Spurs as well. Do you think that it is a case of Spurs, Newcastle, maybe Villa, if they pick up, they get a good consistency of run? Are we the ones that are fighting out for that 5th, 6th, potentially 7th place? Is that going to be us battling them most of the season?
Mate, I'll be honest. I haven't wrote off 4th. I think it will be us, Chelsea, Tottenham. I think it'll be us, Chelsea, and Tottenham fighting for 4th, 5th, and 6th. I think it'll be those 3 clubs. I think City, Liverpool, and Man City will get the top 3. And I think 4th, 5th, and 6th are all up for grabs. I don't see Villa. Getting into that top 6. I think Villa will probably finish 7th, maybe 8th. That's where I see Villa. I suppose where they finish will probably depend on how Bournemouth and Palace get on. But I think 4th, 5th, and 6th is up for grabs between Chelsea, Tottenham, and Newcastle.
I think the one thing that, I don't know if concern's the right word, maybe it is the right word, is that how Newcastle will cope with playing Champions League football. Because last time you played Champions League football, your league campaign suffered quite a lot. And I think that's going to be interesting to see whether the same thing happens again, whether you can maintain that level of performance whilst having the Champions League. Is the squad depth there or not? I guess these are questions that we'll find out. I mean, look, personally, I think Newcastle will be in and around that 5th or 6th place. I do think that Chelsea are probably ahead of a Newcastle, a Spurs, a Villa, not by a million miles or whatever, like comfortably, but I do think there is over a 38-game season, there will be a gap. I almost feel like we're not quite good enough to break into that top 3, but I don't think we're quite bad enough to be getting sucked into a sort of a battle for maybe 5th place. But this could be wrong, by the way. We could lose a couple of games after the break, and maybe my opinion might change. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think Tottenham will definitely be in the mix. I think Newcastle obviously will be in the mix as well. Villa will get themselves together. And then I look at teams like Everton, for example. And I know, me and Savra spoke about this before. I think they've got a really good team, and they could break into those European spots. I just worry about goals. And like, if you're trying to get into Europe, I just don't think there's enough goals in that team.
No.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be the teams that we all expect to be in and around that mix. You know, I don't see there being any surprise packages like a Forest, for example, last season. I don't see that particularly happening this season.
No.
You don't sorry. Go on, Chris. Go for it.
No, I was just going to follow on from what Charlie's saying. Yeah, I mean, the reason I think 4th, 5th, and 6th, Charlie, just to respond to you, is I think it will be different for Chelsea this season, given that obviously last season you had confidence to manage.
Yeah.
It was basically just a new 11, wasn't it? This time around, obviously, you know, higher competition. You're going to be fielding more of those starting 11 players that we expect.
Yeah.
In terms of our transfer window, this is why I think, or I hope, this is why I hope that we're going to be able to manage the Champions League better this time around, because whilst a lot of people would say we had a bit of an underwhelming transfer window, the signings that we've made have almost kind of, somebody in the chat used it, improved that underbelly. So we can now bring players in, like the likes of your Jacob Ramsey's can come in. You know, we've got Adam Ramsdale now sitting on the bench. Malik Chow's come in. Has
Ramsdale played yet?
He's played one game. He's played against Bradford in the cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know, whether or not he comes in as number 1 eventually, I don't know, Charlie. We'll have to wait and see. But Nick Pope's been, Nick Pope's been in really, really good form. But yeah, no, your point as well was interesting. Sorry, I was just going to say your point on it, Everton, was interesting as well, because I think the only problem Everton have got, as you say, is the striking options. Because Beto and Barry look like for like. They're both a bit cumbersome. I don't think they're going to get 15, 20 goals, either of them.
No.
And the problem Everton have got is you take out 1 or 2 of them players. So whether it be a Grealish, whether it be a Dewsbury Hall, all of a sudden you start to go, ooh, they're looking a bit thin. And that's like they've got 1 left back. They've actually got 1 left back, and they've got that young lad who come in from Bayern. I forget his name.
Yeah, he looks decent.
As new, but I just don't think he's ready. So defensively, and then obviously Everton have always got old right backs, haven't they? And they're currently playing Jake O'Brien as a right back, who's not a right back. So yeah, I just think Everton will fall short, but I do think Everton will finish comfortably mid-table, comfortably.
Yes, it's difficult. I think Bournemouth could shock teams this season. I think Bournemouth not getting into Europe last season might help them out this year.
Yeah.
I like Bournemouth. I like their manager as well, and I look at them and I think they can push for that top 7, top 6
But
position.
they've got to keep their players fit, though, innit, Jeremy? Like, if they
they're playing like once a week,
and these guys fit.
Yeah.
Like, if you would worry if a Semenyo got injured, for example, or a Clivert or whatever. But like, I agree in terms of an 11, and in terms of the job that Iriola's doing, the fact that they lost Kirkes, they lost Zabani, they lost Huijsen. And whatnot, like the job that he's doing there is remarkable. And but I think Bournemouth, I don't see why they couldn't get a Conference League place. You look at Conference League, right, and you may be thinking of teams like Palace, Bournemouth, Everton. I don't see why a Fulham couldn't potentially, maybe get close to a Conference League spot. I think there's about 4 or 5 teams who could be knocking on the door for that
consistency, Charlie, isn't it?
Yeah. You need goal scorers. You need goal scorers. Yeah, you need goal scorers.
How many times have we talked about Brighton, for example?
Yeah.
They have a good start to the season, or they have a good run, and everyone's like, "Whoa."
Don't have goal scorers.
They are the team to beat. They're the ones that they could be fighting for Europa League or Champions League. I think it was the discussion last year, and we're on this show saying exactly that to Adam. But then they go through and have 3 or 4 games where they just absolutely just shit the bed, and they're in a position where like they're dropping down and they're bottom half of the table. Like Bournemouth did it. Bournemouth did it last year. Remember January, February, we were talking about Bournemouth and we're going, "Ooh, look at their run between." And they've played all the hard teams. They could get Champions League, and then look at their run after that. They just fell flat. It could happen again.
This is why 38 games, right? This is why when fans, we all make such bold predictions, don't we, in like August or September? But so much happens between now and Christmas. Then you've got a transfer window. Listen, I think if Bournemouth, using them as the example, if Bournemouth can keep everyone fit, we know Iriola's a top coach. I don't think the manager is the issue. But you've got to keep those players fit, right? Now, I'll be interested to see, does Bournemouth's brilliant form coincide with Semenyo's brilliant form? So, for example, if Semenyo starts not having as great form, does Bournemouth, so yeah, I think that Everton, Fulham, Brighton, Palace, Fulham, whoever could all get 7th. I don't think there's standouts. I really don't. I don't think other than the top 3 in the Premier League, I think that there's a lot of clubs that will fancy
quite samey, ain't they? They're all quite samey.
Yeah.
I look at Sunderland, man. I
think they'll drop away.
Sometimes you get a promoted club that just surprises people, don't you?
Well, Sheffield United come 9th, didn't they? In one season when they came straight up.
Yeah, I think Wolves did the same years ago.
But if you look at like the top 7 right now in the Premier League, they've all got people that can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
They've all got players that can put the ball in the back of the net and play quite exciting attacking football. If you look at the people at the bottom of the league right now, they're all clubs that haven't got goal scorers. And I think that's the major thing. I always say this about when promoted clubs come up. They all go and buy these left back, right back, centre back. They never go and buy goal scorers.
Yeah.
They never go and buy strikers, man. That's what keeps you in leagues. You've got to score goals.
Well, look at Burnley, right? If you look at Burnley, you look at Lyle Foster. Now, I'm not knocking him. Lyle Foster, good championship footballer.
Sounds like a lawyer.
If you're Burnley, you're going, right, let's be fair. If you're a team down the bottom, you need a bloke that's getting you 12 to 13 Premier League goals as a minute. Right,
they gave us 20 mil for Broja, who barely kicked a ball.
Right. But so if you got Broja, Foster, like where are you? Like Sunderland, I think it will run out. Because again, Isidore, is he gonna get you enough goals to kick?
I still think that 1 or 2 promoted sides will stay up. I don't think all 3 will go down.
So who's going down then? Who's going down that was in the Premier League?
I think Wolves are gone.
Yeah, I was going to say same. I think Wolves are in big trouble.
Didn't Wolves do the exact same? If we went back to the 10th of October. Sorry, I'll tell you what, I can't read the date. If we go back to the 7th of October, we're not in the USA, 2024, weren't we all saying the same thing about Wolves then?
True.
Gary O'Neill, he's got to get sacked. Oh, they're gone.
The difference is though, Sal, they had a Cunha who they had a star player
got him out of it.
Sure.
For them, and they've lost that now, and they've not really replaced it. But they could stay up, by the way. I just think that.
They're not adrift, are they? Wolves.
Last year they got away with it because Southampton was so bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams got away with it last year because of how bad the 3 that came up were. Yeah, well, exactly.
We've got the 3 promoted clubs. So we've got Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley, right? So we've got those 3. So we know those 3 are going to be in and around it. Who are the 2 or 3 teams that were here last season that you think?
Where's Wolfie?
Forest legit could be in Shiband days.
Tell me he's waiting in the background and you're about to bring him in.
No, he's not.
He's shy.
I think if Nottingham Forest keep with Ange, they're in massive trouble.
Yeah, but if it gets much worse, they'll win it.
One of 3 that could exist in Premier League teams that were here last season that could actually.
I think West Ham, Forest, and Wolves are the most likely.
Brentford possibly as well.
I think West Ham have got way too much, and Nuno's way too good a manager.
Nuno's clever. I'm just wondering if he's got.
He's got enough quality at his disposal.
Quality.
Hang on, Bowen, Paqueta, Somerville,
Well, yeah,
Wilson,
you'd think so.
Fulkrug. I mean, they
you'd think
should.
so.
I always give it a Bowen. Bowen's quality. Bowen is Mr. West Ham at the moment, ain't he? He's doing everything. He's like Roy the Rovers for him.
But I think you've got to look at a Wolves as if one Premier League side.
What have you got against Wolves? You keep
No,
picking them out.
I hate their kids.
You're trying to start some YouTube beef with someone. What's
Yeah,
going on?
mate, I don't really know any Wolves fans. I mean, we've got
No one does. No one does.
We've got them in the cup. We've got them in the cup at the end of the month. So yeah, I mean, I'll say all this stuff about Wolves. I
hope they knock you out. I hope they knock you out. That'd be hilarious.
You boys are meeting. You got Newcastle in the cup, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think Sunderland stay up. I
think Sunderland do as well.
Well, what's that?
You watch Leeds on Saturday, right? Do you think Leeds have got enough about them to stay up?
Yeah. Look, they do. They were very workmanlike. I think they were very strong in midfield with Ampadu, Longstaff, and Stack, who I was really impressed with. I'm looking up top and thinking, listen. By the way, this isn't just Leeds. I look at these teams and go, who's scoring goals?
Calvert-Lewin's not getting you goals.
Calvert-Lewin, listen, I mean, by the way, I'd rather have him than Richarlison, but Calvert-Lewin is not scoring you goals. But I look at it, like Sunderland have started well, but how many times do we see this, guys, in a Premier League campaign? Like, do you remember when Blackpool came up and everyone was going after about 10 games? I'll tell you what, Blackpool could get Europe. Went down. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a long season, and I pray it's Nottingham Forest just because of Wolfie.
It'll be incredible. It'll be unreal.
But they've got too much. I think once they sack this guy, they've got way too much to go down.
Who do they get in though? If they sack Andrew, do they get in?
Jamie, are you available? Could you do it?
I probably could. Yeah, probably.
Right.
I'd do it.
I probably could.
Do a better job. All right, okay.
I'll bring Severin's assistant just to wreck Forest.
let's just give our own three then before we wrap up. So, Savin, we'll start with you then. We'll work all the way around. So, who are your three that you think will go down? So, I'll give the six that I think we've suggested. So, we've got the three promoted: Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley. I think we've put Forest in there. I think we've definitely got Wolves in there.
West Ham.
Maybe we put West Ham in that conversation. So out of those six, who are the three that you think will go down, mate?
I think you've got to throw Brentford in there as well.
But Burnley for me are a given. I think Burnley are a given. They will not score goals. I don't want to be like Charlie and say Wolves, but at the moment, you have to go Wolves.
You know you want to say it. You know you want to say it.
At the moment, I think you're going to have to go Wolves.
That's two.
I think Sunderland or Leeds, one of them will. I think the luck will run out.
Who are you saying now? If you had to choose out of those two, who are you going for?
If I had to choose three, by the way, I'm going with the three that came up.
No, but you picked two.
No, I'm taking Wolves out. I think Wolves will be all right. I'm going to go with the three that came up. There you go.
So you go Leeds and Sunderland.
Sorry, Joe.
He's going Sunderland as well.
Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley.
Wonderful. So, just as long as they're in that, you can come again, Sava. Charlie, your three.
To be honest, I know you won't like this, Pete. I think Sunderland will stay up. I'm going to go with Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves to go down.
Leeds, Burnley. Oh, okay. Genius still there. Wolves. Okay. Jamie, what are you going for?
So Wolves play Sunderland after international break, don't they? That's a massive game for Wolves. Wolves are on 2 points. If they lose to Sunderland and pick teams like Burnley or West Ham, Forest pick up points, it's got to be.
They're at the relegation zone, Jamie.
Yeah, it's so. They remind me of Southampton last year. They just can't score goals. They just can't score goals. I think Wolves go. I think Wolves, Burnley, and Brentford.
Oh, Brentford.
I think Brentford. I I think Brentford have started pretty well, better than a lot of people expected. I just think it's going to go wrong for them, and the toll, the league will take its toll. And I think Leeds, weirdly, are going to get like enough draws to stay up, if that makes sense.
Ellen Road will probably keep them up.
Yeah,
If they do stay up, I think it'll be Ellen Road, right?
I think Nuno will keep West Ham up
Yeah.
because he is a good coach. And then Forest. If Ange stays at Forest, Forest goes.
Okay. Right, Chris, your three. Who are you going for?
Yeah, so I think 2 of the promoted sides will go down. I think Burnley will go, and I think Sunderland will go. I think Leeds will have enough, and the reason I say that is Sava mentions Ellen Road, and I think having someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, if they can keep him fit, he knows the league. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. I'm not his biggest fan, as most Newcastle fans will know, but I think having him up front is a big plus. Willie Nonto, I think he's a good player. I think Leeds will have enough. And Pete, we said this at the time. Signing Sean Longstaff for 12 million was great business. Absolutely great business. Well, 12 hours to 15. Great business. I think he'd be a great signing for Leeds. And we've already mentioned a couple of players. So I think Leeds will stay up. So my bottom 3 are Burnley, Sunderland, and I'm going to say Brentford, because the other teams we've mentioned, Wolves, loads of quality in the team, and I think Jurgen Strand Larsen is going to be huge for them this season, who's just signed a new deal. West Ham have got far too much, and Forest will be okay because I think they'll sack Ange, and I think they'll be getting a new manager, and they'll just find some form. So yeah, I'm going to say Sunderland, Burnley, Brentford.
Okay, I'm going to go Burnley, Sunderland, and I can't decide between Wolves and Leeds. I can't decide between them. I think it's going to be close. I'll probably go Wolves just because I've not seen enough of them.
Just because you want Strand Larsen on the cheap next season.
Yeah, I don't think that was a one-time deal, mate. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah, fair.
I don't think we go back in for him. Now we've got Nick Woltemade, I think, and Wisa. I think we're they're our guys. I don't see that deal being resurrected at any point. But yeah, I think I can't actually decide between. I'm saying Wolves, but it could quite easily be Leeds. I can't decide on those two. I think Burnley and Sunderland will definitely go down. I think you're right, Sava, in what you said about Sunderland. They've almost had their honeymoon period, like where they've picked up results that I don't think teams would have expected them to. And I think teams tend to just fit back into system, and they'll start losing games, and it will become a routine. You see with newly promoted, and I think
it's when these clubs have the difficult spells, right? So every team, at the bottom half has a spell where they'll have 7-8 games, and it's like, wow, we picked up 2 points from 8 games. It's how can they come out of those spells with enough wins? However, I feel like I don't feel there's going to be a lot in it down there. If I'm honest, I don't think anyone's going to be dropped away. If you look at it right now, like Fulham, who no one have mentioned, Fulham are the same as Leeds, right? Fulham are the same as Leeds at the moment. Not one of us has mentioned them.
No,
right?
I feel it's all right.
No, I agree. I agree. But that's my point. I don't think there's 3 teams.
Oh, they're all shit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm going for. That's what I was going for.
I don't get this.
On that note, we'll end the discussion there. But boys, great chat tonight. Loads of great topic points and discussion points. Massively thank you for joining, Jamie. Great debut on Load Mag NUFC. Hopefully, we'll get you back on soon. Hopefully, you get everything sorted as well after a busy day or busy afternoon. Make sure you go and subscribe to Jamie. Do you want to plug your channel, mate?
So it's Jamie Phillips Football Chats on YouTube, right there. There you go. Big up, everyone. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it, man. Loved it.
Great stuff. Charlie, of course, make sure you go and subscribe to Blue Brothers CFC and all things Chelsea. Of course, Sava as well, Football Heritage TV. Make sure you go and subscribe to that channel as well. All things Sava, Spurs, and football in general. Of course, Halftime Hooks joined us. Make sure you're following him on social media as well. And of course, Loading Mag NUFC. Get those likes up Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Had a few new people in the chat tonight, which is great to see. Get those likes up. And of course, we'll be back for more later on this week. I think we've got 1 or 2 things planned, but we'll be getting ready for next week where we build up to another week of fixtures. But for now, take care, people. We'll speak to you very, very
at night.